Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another episode of Car Mechanics Simulator. It's going to be a bit of a long one today. We have got an extremely rusty Bentley, was it a Model T, I think, or T Series. It's like the natural successor to the Silver Shadow. It's on an Alaskan plate, which may explain why it's quite so shockingly rusty. So we've got a lot to do. We'll completely strip the whole thing out, completely rebuild the whole thing. From the bottom up. I've done absolutely nothing to it, or haven't got anything ready at all. So we've got quite a lot to do to get this one ready. So I think first things first, let's move it over to the lifter and see where we go from there. I guess first things first, let's just start to strip off all these body panels. Or should I, actually, thinking about it, a wiser move, maybe, put that back on, would be to go into my inventory and just get rid of everything, because I've got a lot of junk in there. Yes, including all this. Okay, then that way I'll stand a chance of actually being able to find things when it comes to it. So let's go back to normal mode. Now we can take everything off. So this is part of the newly released Bentley DLC. So it's an official DLC. It's not modded content, so we should expect things to be a little bit more accurate than some of the mods. It should have its own engine. It's a V8, so it should be designed, so it should be sort of vaguely accurate to what the engine should actually be, hopefully. The car should weigh in about 2 tons, I think, these Bentleys. See, extremely heavy cars, and not designed for performance in any way. Obviously more designed for comfort and luxury. So we'll just get the worst of the main body panels off. Oops, don't know how to take the windows out, just take the door off. Okay, so body panel wise, that's the bulk of the stuff off. So let's just start getting this thing jacked up slightly. Let's probably drag the engine out, is going to be the first thing to do. Oh, what a strange air filter setup that is. Okay, well, we'll pull that off. How are we going to do this? So we're going to get the gearbox underneath, connected to the 2 exhausts. Is there a starter motor from here? That's access from underneath as well. We'll take the exhaust and then manifold off. That's even got Bentley stamped on the head plate. So let's go up properly, and now we can take the gearbox off, get the starter motor off, and free up the engine. Then we should be able to use the engine code just to pull the whole thing out. That's the plan, anyway. So drive shaft. Let's get that off. There, and there. I've got the starter motor, pull that off, and the gearbox should drop off. Have we got anything else? So we've got these front exhaust section. I don't know if that manifold there is going to be a restricting part for it, getting it out or not. I can't see anything else. Obviously it's not where for, it's front wheel drive, not rear wheel drive, so it should be free. So let's drop this. Oh, let's drop down the oil first, if there's any in it. To see if there's any oil. There's not often not. No. Complete no oil at all. So good job we didn't start it. Okay, so let's lower it back down and grab the engine crane. Move this over to stand A. And drag this thing out. Hooray, it pulls out fine. And let's get it on the stand. Okay, so we've got all that out, so let's move this back out the way. There. Okay, so that's cleared everything up, a bit more room there now. So we can sort out all the rest of this stuff. But first thing first, let's probably do the engine. I've not got any bits prepared, so this is going to take a while, probably, with all the various bits to get done. A slight little game bug there. So I assumed the air filter was going to be connected to the engine bay, not the engine. I wouldn't have took that air tube off otherwise. So slightly floating air filter. Let's just get some of the top stuff off. I've not worked on any Bentley engines before, so I have no particular idea how all this stuff works. So we'll take the clips off the distributor, like so. And dismantle this. This obviously controls the spark plugs and the ignition timing. So we've got the throttle body here, connected to 2 carburetors. So that's come off as one piece then. Okay, interesting. And then we've got the intake on the top. That's well bolted down. Let's get all this off. What's that there? Okay. Obviously it's a V8, so 2 banks of 4 cylinders. Oh, this is all the ancillary belt stuff. God, that's a sizable old alternator, isn't it? Look at that. So we'll take, let's take all the belts and timing stuff off. So we've got the radiator fan, driven just directly by the engine. And then we want to take this little serpentine belt here off, and that one off, and then we should be able to pull everything else off. That's a few idle rollers, crankshaft pulley. There should be like a water pump, I guess. Oh, there's a bracket there. Okay. It's a power steering pump. Oh, that's the water pump. Blimey. It's a big old water pump. Okay, let's take this alternator off. There's the alternator bracket, and then we can take the water pump off from there. Okay. There we go, so that's cleared up things a little bit more for us. Oh, there's a timing cover here, and then this is the timing chain underneath. I guess it's chain drive. Yeah, it is. Take the chain off and the cam gear. Okay, so we've got the all the timing and sort of intake and fuel related stuff off, all the carbs. We've got an exhaust manifold on the side here, so let's get that off. Then we can pull the spark plugs out, and then we'll take the engine covers off, and then we can flip it round, take the oil sump off the bottom, and look at getting the pistons out. So we'll get these spark plugs out there. The random oil filter there can come off. Let's just go around the other side, do the same thing. Oops, misclicking. Get these spark plugs out, kind of hard to access. Okay, so now let's do the engine heads. We'll get the covers off. Oh, it's rockers, not cams. Okay. So let's see what we can do to get these out. Obviously, being a slightly older engine design, it's got bloody push rods and everything for the valves, which are more in the centre, whereas a modern engine has overhead cams, so it has an overhead valves, which is completely different. Well, same principle but different setup. So let's get these out. Lots of individual valves. Then we should be able to take the whole head off, and the cylinders should be underneath. Okay, and then let's do the same on the other side. Take the rocker arms off, and then we can take all the push valves out. We're going to have to do a lot of shop visits, I think, in this episode. Which is why I say it's going to take quite a long time. I think it's going to be like an hour episode, unless I get really bored, in which case I may split it into 2 parts. I probably will. So let's keep getting these out, and then we can take the head off and access the cylinders again. And then we're going to turn the whole thing upside down. So we'll do that. Let's pop out, go to the engine so big it's blocking the stand. So let's turn the whole thing upside down. And you're going to take the sump off the bottom. Like so. Now we're going to take all the rod caps off the 8 pistons. Like so. No easy way around this. Just got to do this to get these off. Obviously, the more pistons you have, the longer this takes. Coming off relatively quickly and easily. Oops. Right, and let's pull each of the pistons out. Then we've just got the clutch assembly on the end, and then we should be able to get the crankshaft out. Oops, it's clicking again. Okay, so it's got the clutch, so obviously the release bearing, the pressure plate, the actual clutch plate, and then there should be a flywheel. I imagine on a Bentley it would be an enormous flywheel. There's nothing ever seems to be light about Bentleys. Oh, of course, there's the bearing caps holding in the actual crankshaft, so it doesn't rattle around. So let's take that off. One more, and then the crankshaft should be out, and that should be it. Now the oh, there's the camshaft, of course. Yeah, this is the difference, obviously, with push rods. These are where the push rods come through and are controlled by the camshaft profile in the middle. It's just an older setup. Don't really do it anymore. Okay, so we've got this engine completely disassembled. So let's go over to the repair bench and see what we can salvage. Lots and lots of different parts. Obviously some of these are going to get damaged, some might be repairable. I can hear some things breaking, so not everything is repairable. Lots of parts. It takes a while, obviously, just having to click through everything. Oops. See some things breaking. Obviously with things being in such poor condition you have to be repaired multiple times, so the chance of things breaking are obviously a lot higher. So let's see what we've got and what we haven't. So we're just going to try and rebuild this engine now. Hopefully the blocks, probably the most expensive and main part, the actual block, has broken. So I'm assuming this is going to be in here. I'm not particularly helps if I can spell. Engine block. Not that one. Is it just a V8 block? We had valve. I don't know which one it's going to be. Oh, it's that one. Okay. It's actually a Bentley specific one. So, we have a new block. Nice. So, from here, let's get the crankshaft. Oh my god. This could turn into a very long video. Obviously I don't know what's broken and what hasn't, you see, so it's sort of a bit of a learning curve as we go along. Hopefully it's not going to be like this for everything. The pistons will have broken, I did know that. I'm stuck on the bench, let me off. Right, so we want pistons and piston rings. So should we use rated pistons? I guess maybe we should. So we'll have 8 of them, and then we'll have piston rings as well. Eight of them. So let's get all these put back in. I bet they'll probably need rod caps as well, which I haven't got. Let's just drop them all in first, and then we'll see where we are after that. Okay. 2 to go. I suspect that we're going to need new rod caps. Oh no, some of them are repaired. Okay, looking good. See, have we got 8 or did one of them break? Three down. Get all these screwed back in, and then that's the piston secured. We'll stick the oil sump back on the bottom, and then we'll go again, and then we'll be good to turn it all back round. Yeah, one broke. So that means we've got to go to the shop. Press the right button, helps. Rod cap. I'll have one of them. Is there anything else I'm going to need? Valve push rod. Let's just buy. Oh, a lot of them. They're cheap. What else am I going to need? A crankshaft pulley. For either that one or that one. I've got enough money. I'm not worried about that. What else am I going to need? Spark plugs. I'm going to want 8 of them. I'm going to need all the clutch parts since they don't normally repair. Let's just see as we go along, I guess. I can never remember exactly everything that we need. So let's drop this final rod cap in. I bet the crankshaft bearings are going to need. Oh, 2 of them. Oh, we've been very unlucky with the repair chance. Normally do a lot better than this on the repairs. Most things normally get repaired. Let's just crankshaft bearing cap. There we go. One of them, $43. Outrageous. So get that on, and then we can put the sump back on the bottom and turn this thing the right way up again. At least that would repair. That's something, I suppose. Bolted on. Excellent. Okay, let's go back to the engine stand. Rotate and rotate. There we go. So let's have a look where we are and what we've got. Oh, I didn't put the camshaft back in. Thankfully we can slide that in from there. I need a cam gear. That one. I'm also going to need timing chain, I suspect. I don't know if there's a Bentley specific timing chain. or if it's just like a V8 one. Let's just get that, I would say. I don't think there's a specific one by the looks of it. Get one of them as well. And one of them if I didn't get one. What else are we going to need? We're going to need some idle rollers. So we'll have a couple of them. And a couple of them. Oh, we'll probably want one of them as well. There should be another bracket for the alternator, I think. Alternator bracket, there we go. Oh, I'm doing well on through. And then there's two Serpentine Belts. Let's find those guys. That's for the V12 one. One there for the T Series and the Belt B. So, let's see what else I have forgotten. So, let's get this sprocket dropped on. And then there's the timing chain. Yeah, which is just the V8 overhead valve. Water pump. Oh, it's repaired. Lucky. That is such a complicated water pump. Water pump pulley. Oh, disaster. We'll just leave that on for a second while we get the rest of the stuff bolted on. We should have got a crankshaft pulley, which we did. Then what have we got? We've got a bracket here, which I remembered. Oh, it repaired anyway, so I didn't really need to do that. Some of the idle rollers bolted in. And we have the alternator bracket at the top. And the alternator, which hopefully is repaired, which it has. We get that nicely bolted in. So we just need a water pump pulley. Okay. Water pump pulley. I assume there's not a specific one. I didn't remember it being anything specific. No, it's not, thankfully. Drop that on. What am I missing? There should be some belts, I guess. Oh, maybe they're attached to the part of the heads. So let's get the heads dropped back in. On each side, then we've obviously got the rocker arms and all the push rods we want to put in as well. So let's just stick in 100 push rods. So it's obviously 2 valves per cylinder in this. So 16 valve in total, which I guess for a V8 is not very many. And then we'll stick the head back on there. Get that nice clean Bentley logo now. So I'll switch back around to this side and get this head back on as well. And then we'll do exactly the same with the push rods, get all that put back in, get the rocker cover back on and put the cover back on it all. Then we can finish off the timing stuff, or the Serpentine Belts, the auxiliary belts, so that the battery charges and everything. We have the alternator. And then we've got everything like all the exhaust manifolds, the intake manifolds, the air intake, that sort of thing. We'll have to connect as well. Oops, one more. There we go. We'll stick the rocker cover in, rocker arm, sorry. Like so, get that bolted in. And then we should put the cover back on. Cool. So, let's have a look. What am I missing here? That's the power steering pump connects to that. I guess it's going to mean the belts can go back on there now. Yes, it does. Put that one on, and then there should be a little one here. And what's tensioning that belt? I don't know. Nothing, I guess. Seems like a cause for possible failure later down the road. Okay, so that's basically all the timing element of things on and the radiator equipment and everything. So let's get the exhaust manifold back on. Both are in good condition. We seem to have got unlucky with the pairs at the start, but then we seem to be doing a little bit better now. And then obviously we've got 4 spark plugs to drop in. We'll do the same on the other side. Let's do the exhaust manifold first. Two, 3, 4. And then let's just get the spark plugs in. I think I got the right number. Yes, I did. Last one. Okay, so we need a oil filter V8 overhead valve. Oil filter. Get one of them. $9. Very cheap. So let's just get that dropped in there, like so. And then we've got the intake basically on the top, attached to which you get things that we've got like the throttle body and stuff. Let's get this bolted in. Many bolts. Like so. So it's got this dual carburetor system here. Secured by one bolt. And then the throttle in the middle. Distributor hasn't repaired. Fuel filter is something else I need to do as well. So we want fuel filter. And we also probably want air filter. Let's just search filter. I would have thought that round little thing is specific to the Bentley. So like the air filter pipe. Rare, yes, a T Series round air filter cover. Hopefully that should be that. And then what else was it? Distributor. Don't want distributor, the distributor cap, and the rotor. We probably want some distribution ignition leads, HT leads, ignition leads. Do we have specific? We do. Bentley T Series. So let's get this stuff dropped on. So we'll have the floating fuel filter, and then let's go for the ignition distributor, the rotor, which obviously controls the timing, and the cap, which was actually in good condition. Rather than we've got these stupid little clips. That is a classic thing to forget. So we're missing a clip B. If you forget those clips, then the car won't start. If you forget one little clip, it just doesn't start. It's the most random thing they ever put into the game. Is these little clips. Nothing else has such a high level of detail requiring you to do that sort of thing. But just that. I've always found it really strange. So let's reassemble the air filter, and then we've just got the clutch to do as well. And then the air filter pipe. I don't know why that's attached to the engine. So, flywheel I didn't buy. Should be the last visit to the shop for the engine at least. Flywheel. Let's get this drop back on there. And then we've got the clutch plate. And then there should be the pressure plate and the release bearing. Perfecto. Okay, get the release bearing on. Excellent, excellent. Then let's look what else we have got. I think that should be about everything. Let's just have an overall glance. Have I forgotten anything? I don't think so. Okay, so before we move that engine, I just want to sort out the few other bits we've got in the bay. So we've got a battery, a brake servo, and a radiator C. So I don't know if these any bits are repairable. I don't know what that did, to be honest. Oops. I think we might have done the radiator. I doubt the battery could be repaired. Oh, brake servo has. Battery hasn't. So let's just buy a new battery, and then we'll drop the engine back in, and then we can start to look at some of the suspension setup and everything. Okay, so let's drag this off the stand. Go to my engine crane over here. Move this over to the car. Car lift A. And then we'll put this engine back in. Install V8 overhead valve. There we go. We're looking a lot better already. That's all newly set up now. Our lovely V8 Bentley engine. It's got to be good for a few thousand miles before something goes wrong. So let's move this equipment back out of the way, and then let's jack this whole thing up. We'll get the wheels off. Oh, wow, it's even got a little Bentley badge in the wheel. Neat. Yeah, we'll just do the front first and see where that leaves us. I might, before I do, again visit my inventory because it's oh no, it's got all the part stuff, so we'll leave it. Yeah, we'll leave it. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't. Tell a lie. I'm just going to sell everything. Oh, wrong button. And then I can. Oh, should I? No, we won't. No, we won't. I'll make a decision in a minute. Let's just pull everything off. Sod it. Let's just get everything off and see where we are. Oh, bloody bearing. Get out. Right, let's get the hub off and everything. What have we got? It's like a double wishbone. Pull this out. bottom wishbone, what's that tied in by? Come on, get out of it. Now this bottom arm should come off. It will. What's that retained by? Oh, of course, the steering rack. Let's pull the little bushings out on this side. And let's go and do the same on the other side. It's easy taking it apart, it's putting it back together that takes a long time. As I say, I told you this was going to be a long video. Hopefully you're enjoying it. Just while we're dismantling this, I might as well say, I feel the channel's been going pretty well. I mean, really appreciate all the support I've had so far. With over 150 subscribers now, which is more than I expected to be by this point. So that's great. You know, keep watching the content. If you can like the videos and stuff, that really helps, because when the videos get likes, it really boosts their search ranking in the YouTube algorithm. So I stand a much better chance of getting noticed or getting found by people searching. So that really is like one of the most helpful things you can do. I forgot an inner tie rod off there. Out you come. So yes, that's really, if you can do that, that would be really helpful. So let's pull that off. Pull that rubber bushing off. And the front suspension clip under. And to the repair bench. So we'll just smash through these bits. Obviously we're not going to get everything repaired, and we'll just have to find which bits we break along the way. So let's get reassembling. So we've got the front suspension cross member, it's like the subframe basically. Steering rack, inner tie rods. I have a feeling these don't repair, no. So we want tie rods inner and outer. No. Tie rod, there we go. We'll have 2 of them and 2 of them. Let me just briefly turn the heater off because my feet are absolutely boiling to death. Oops, no, part mount. Random steering knuckle, inner tie rod, outer tie rod, bolt together. We do the axle covers. Let's have a look at the brake setup. Both front hubs are intact, good. Brake disc vented aren't. I think all the brake parts probably need. Brake disc ventilator. Let's have 2 of them. We'll have just 2 of them as well, because there might be discs on the back as well. We'll have 4 calipers, brake pads, 4 of them, but caliper B, ooh, I don't think we need any of them, but we'll get some just in case. We'll get a couple of brake cylinders, slave cylinders as well. Surely that must be everything. Oops, keep doing that, bad habit. Yeah, brake pads and brake caliper. No, it is just the standard ones. I don't know why it thinks that the others aren't. Anyway, so then we've got the wheel hub bearings, which are going to be back to the shop. Wheel hub bearing. Yep, we'll have a few of them. We'll have a few of them as well, just in case. I'm just trying to preventively, oh my god, preventively get everything. If I press that stupid examine button again. Wheel hub cap, good job. Bottom suspension arm, good, but I'm not going to need bushings. Let me out of this mode. I don't want part notes. Go away. Rubber bushings. Just get a handful of these. You always need them, and I never have them. So stock up on them. Aha! I remembered. Bottom suspension arm, bushing. Let's get these bolted into place. I probably haven't brought enough bushings actually, to be honest. I know I haven't, because I've still got to put 4 in the subframe. Which I'm going to do now actually, because I'll forget otherwise. Come on, out of the way. If you don't put these in, then again it's like it's as good as forgetting a clip on the alternator. It won't start at all. It'll just tell you a bushing is missing and the car cannot start. So I've got to get these put in. Suspension is probably going to need a whole new suspension. Yeah, double wishbone shock absorber, front spring, front shock absorber cap. go to the shop. So let's just try spring. So we want 2 of them. Front shock absorber cap. We'll have 2 of them. I don't know which of these 2 it is, so we'll just get 2 of both. Oh, but it was a double. Maybe it was a double. Stupid. 2 of them. Okay, let's go and build my suspension in the spring puller. So I want that one with that and that. Yes. Just got to build 2 of these, one for each side, obviously. And we might as well do that now. Take that. Join again. Double wishbone. Yep, like that. Okay, build one of them. And we can put them back on the car, and then that's the suspension at the front done. We can put the wheel back on. Well, we can't. We've got to rebuild the wheel first. Just trying to repair it. Remembered again. I'm getting good. So let's put the new one of them in. Looking good. Obviously the tyre weren't prepared, so we won't put that on. So let's go back over to this side. So same thing again. Hopefully, I've prepared everything so that I don't need to buy any more parts for this side. Maybe a few bushings may be needed because I didn't buy enough, I don't think. So wheel hub bearing, brake pads, caliper, and slave cylinder bolted in. Looking good. And then we've got the 2 suspension arms. Yeah, I'm out of bushings. More rubber bushings. Rubber. Just buy loads of the stupid things. Where am I? Wrong side. So, bottom suspension arm. Let's get it bolted in. Upper suspension arm. Get it bolted in. The double wishbone shock absorber. It's bolted in. Then we've got the inner tie rod and the outer tie rod, like so. What is this? The front sway bar I haven't got, and I suspect the link bars as well. I haven't got as well. Was it B? I think, wasn't it? But we'll get an A as well. What were they? Drop links. Drop front. Sway bar end links. Right, one of them, or it was A. So we'll just get one of each. They're not expensive. If you're doing this like for the career mode, obviously don't just randomly buy willy-nilly parts. You actually have to be a bit careful with your money. It's only because I've just played this game so much. I've just got so much money now. It's not really a problem for me. Okay, so it looks like all that's back on. So we've got some of the exhaust and stuff to sort out over here for the engine. So we've got the gearbox, which obviously got repaired by the looks of it, which is good. That would have been an expensive part. Where does the starter motor clip in? Under there. So we'll clip that in. And then we've got the front exhaust section that needs repairing. Okay, so we'll leave that off for now. Probably leave the drive shaft off as well, because we don't want to connect that up to the rear differential yet until that's sort of ready. So let's push down here. Okay, let's have a look. And then basically, let's do the same on the back. We'll get all this off. A very close up wheel there. Phone's pretty going off. Shut up. So take both wheels off, and then we'll just dismantle everything. Should be a little bit less suspension wise on the back. Come on, get out of the way. And yeah, then just get everything rebuilt. Really rusty brakes. Thankfully, we don't have a rust doesn't affect how easy it is to remove parts in this game. If it was realistic, I'm sure in like a mid-70s old Bentley, if you try and take the brake discs off, it will be an absolute nightmare. I imagine the amount of snapped and sheared bolts you'd do, and oh, there we go. Right, so take off the rear leaf springs on the back, rear shock absorbers. These, for some reason, like the front springs are like all as one component. You have to assemble, yet the back ones never are. Seems to be no real consistency or logic to it that I've yet been able to work out. Just get everything off this rear axle, rear differential. Like so. Do the same thing on this side. And then we should be able to take the whole thing apart. Just take this fuel tank out. Fuel pump, fuel tank. It's amazing how many different little bits there are you end up thinking of. The camera on this game can sometimes be a little bit of annoying. It's not very consistent. That should pull that the whole thing out. Excellent. And the whole exhaust as well. Okay, so to the repair bench. Same game. Let's just smash through everything and see what repairs and see what doesn't. Oop, you hear the odd thing breaking. I hear quite a few things breaking by the looks of it. Okay, so let's just start rebuilding. Obviously, after this, we're going to have to deal with the bodywork. It should be a relatively quick job, so hopefully that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So they've got the main bit there. 2 rear shock absorbers. The shock absorber B, I'll have 2 of them. We're going to want 2 of them as well. And spring, rear spring, 2 of them. And I think we'll probably want 2 spring plates as well. We'll probably have 2 of them. And while we're here, we'll probably have 4 of them. Should we get some control arms while I'm here? While I just think about it? They're not too expensive. Let's get some of them. Okay, right. Let's carry on. So the 2 end knuckles are fine. Oh, the 2 wheel hubs are fine as well, and the 2 drive axles are fine. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So onto there, we'll have the brake discs, which I brought earlier. Okay, good planning ahead. So let's get the calipers on. Slave cylinders, all fine. Obviously we won't put the rear wheels back on yet, since we've got to rebuild them. So we've got the spring caps, rear spring, yeah, good job I brought these, and the rear cap as well, like that. And then we've got the solid control arms, although they both did repair, and some more rubber bushings. The most used part in this game. The rear exhausts didn't look like it repaired at all. So, that's that side done. So let's hop back over to this side. We're making good progress now. And we'll stick that drive shaft back in now. Like that. Okay, cool. We'll do this control arm first because it comes kind of hard to access once we put the rest of the stuff on. Rear shock, bolt. Oops, spring cap and spring. And there we go. We'll stick on the retaining leaf spring bolts for the control arm, like that. Get them bolted in, everything looking nice and shiny and new. The knuckle, and then we'll put the rest of the wheel hub together. Drive axle. Okay, and it's just the brake disc, the caliper, etc, etc. Actually really getting there now. We've not got that much more to do. In a fairly long rebuild. As I'm doing this, I seriously hope that I remember to press record. A little bit of that did cross my mind. I'm sure I must have done. Surely I cannot have been that much of a moron. I mean, if I have, I'm just going to cry, I think. Middle muffler, front exhaust section T. Wow, they're all like... middle muffler, rear muffler. Just Google muff. Dear. Middle muffler. Let's just see if I can do T Series. Will that allow me to search like that? Just want the exhaust. Front exhaust. Should be like a split, like that. Front exhaust section T Series. Okay, awesome. Ooh, I thought we were going to crash them. Part mount, so we'll put the front exhaust section there. Middle muffler, and then the rear muffler all the way down to the back. Okay, cool. So then we've basically got the 4 tyres to sort out. Okay, so let's go and have a look what we've got in terms of tyres and get all the parts we need. So I find it easiest normally to look on here. So we've got a rim, T Series rim, which is a 15-inch rim, 225 75. 15-inch rim, I can remember this. 15-inch rim, 225 75 T Series. 15-inch rim, T Series. Oh god, can't find them. 15-inch rim. Is that it? Yeah, rim T Series. 15-inch rim. Oh, 225 is the tyre width. There wasn't any offset, was there? I hope not. Let's have a quick look. No, no offset. Okay. So then tyre, it was a vintage tyre wall A, which is 225 by 75 tyre width by tyre height. Okay, for 15-inch. 225, 75, 15. 225, 75, 15. It must be, you'd think there'd be an easier way of doing this, wouldn't you? 15, 225, 75, and what? 4 of them. Okay, so we should be good. So, new tyre, new wheel, yes. It's always a bit of a ball out doing this because it takes ages to put the tyres on, then you have to balance them. I don't know. At least they look nice. So take that, let's set it off on the balancer since this is the bit that takes the longest. Then we'll set the new tyre and one off, doing its thing. Obviously we're going to do this 4 times with every tyre, and then we're looking pretty good then. I've thought of one thing we should do, which is put oil in the engine while I remember. So I'll do that after I put the wheels back on. So it only takes ages to balance a wheel. I'll get the next wheel off balancing. Oops, no, I don't want to press that. I want to install new rim and tyre like that. Get that off doing that. Yeah, and then we can weld all the bodywork back together. That's kind of an easy thing to do in this game. There's no real thing about it. You just press weld and pay $1,000 and it's like new. But then there's all the individual body panels that need to be either repaired or replaced. So let's put the next one on to be balanced. And install the final tyre like so. So we've got that on. Wait for this one to finish, set this one off, and then while that's doing its thing, we'll go and stick some oil in it. Oh, we can't because it's floating in the middle of the air. Let's just set this off balancing them. It shouldn't take us too much longer. Oh, I just noticed I've reached level 49 as well. I don't think that unlocks me anything though. I think I've got to get to 50 before I get lucky. Don't really know what that even does. Good to be lucky. Strange. So, take that last one. And let's go and get these wheels back on the car. Look at this. It's starting to look... It does make quite a difference. They're kind of horrible alloys in one sense, but they do kind of suit the car. Like that. And come around this end. Like that. And then last one. And mount it on. Okay, so hopefully, structurally, everything is now perfect and done. So we're looking pretty good. We're making pretty good progress. So let's get this down. I was going to say lift the bonnet up and put oil in, but there is no bonnet. So where's the oil there? Obviously only premium motor oil for a Bentley. Let's get that in. Okay. So that's everything on. So it's now just body panel. I don't know what, if anything, has been repaired body panel wise. It doesn't look like a great deal. Let's just buy everything. Oh, I can't be asked to faff around with all that. So we're just going to go to the body shop and just search for Bentley. And in theory, everything that's a T series. Will it do Bentley T? Yeah, Bentley. If I do Bentley T like that, yes. It's my cheaty way of doing it. the benefit of playing this game long enough is the fact that you can just cheat through having enough money. Okay, so now it's just a case of getting all these bits on. But first, let's go and grab the welder and sort out the rust. I seriously wish it was this easy to sort out rust and this cheap. If I'd gladly pay $1,000 to sort out all my rust problems. Why are you not working for me? What's going on here? Okay, a bit funny. Are you sure you can see it? $1,000 I can repair all the rust. And look at that, it's looking better already. Although it is utterly disgusting colour. But now let's get everything back assembled. And get all the bits on, and then we can take it to the paint shop. Doors, always a good addition, as well as the front windscreen. Another door. Rear window. Things like glass can't be repaired in the game, so you have to buy all the windows and stuff. Left headlight, tail light, brake lights really, not tail lights. Oh, got to take the license plates off. And put the glass in the doors. Oh, and the wing mirrors, I forgot a wing mirror. So easy to forget all these things. Oh. It only has a driver's side wing mirror. Wow. Okay. Right, let's just pull... can I crouch? Oh, it doesn't have a front license plate either, does it not? Oh, it does, I've just not put it on yet. So let's take that one off. Pop round the back briefly. Oh, I see, I haven't actually done that at all. Okay, let's go to the license plate shop. Are they all American? They're all the wrong shape. I'd like to take it home. There we go, we'll have some nice British plates. Is it L-E-Y? Bentley? Like that? Is it like that? I don't know if I can spell, that's another problem. £1,700 for 2 plates is extremely expensive. There we go. Some possibly misspelt Bentley number plates. Let's just crouch at the front and get that one on. There we go. And the wrong size, I mean like the size of the American plate, whereas British plates are longer and thinner. But still, okay, so we're looking pretty good. I think that is everything on. So let's take it to the paint shop. We'll move the car to the paint shop and see what we can do. Obviously we don't want it in that brown. Oh, we still got a GTR in the dyno shop. So let's see what we can do colour wise. So there's no liveries available. I think probably, I don't know, I mean for all its disgustingness, the brown is almost kind of appropriate, I must admit. Maybe a really dark blue, like a royal blue. Yeah, it kind of seems a possible colour that you'd expect, doesn't it? I don't want it to be like bright red or something, because they just wouldn't have done that. It's not really what the car's about. It's luxury and elegance. Let's have a look how that looks. That kind of seems appropriate. You know, this is the sort of car that could be driven by a dictator. That's a dictatorship sort of colour. I could go with that. Awesome. Okay, let's take it out to the front then, and then if all goes to plan, it should start and we should be able to take it around the track. I think it's going to be fairly horrible to drive, but I'll take it. So, track. Will it move? The fuel tank missing. Okay. I knew I'd forget something. That's kind of a critical one, though, I must admit. Fuel tank. Oh, dear. Let's get this. I don't want to be in the plate shop, main shop. Fuel tank and pump, I guess. Fuel tank. Should be fuel pump. Okay. Yeah, that was a bad one. And fuel pump. Okay, so what about now? Can I Move the car back to the front of the garage. And now let's have another go and see if we can go to the track. Here we go, please. Yes, it has worked. That means I've not forgotten anything. I've not missed a clip off the alternator or something stupid like that. So let's see how this thing drives. I think it's not going to be very well, is going to be the answer. It's not going to be tremendously powerful. But let's have a roll. Sounds nice. So we'll waft along the front start finish straight. Oh, it's a little bit soft. Not tremendously fast. Oh, gosh dear, a bit understeery. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. A little bit different. Obviously I normally do modded content, but I thought it's kind of cool to do a full rebuild of, you know, some of the DLC that they have in the game. I don't normally do Bentleys, but it's something a bit different, and I kind of enjoyed doing it. Oops, I completely spanned that. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this video, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for more Car Mechanic Simulator content. Do daily uploads, obviously not just a Car Mechanic Simulator, lots of different games. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Yeah, give it a like. Thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you all on the next episode. As I hit a wall. See you.